Every once in a while, a watch sneaks into your collection, not because it's cutting edge, but because it feels like a time machine. The Casio CA-53WB-8BDF is exactly that. At first glance, it's that quirky calculator watch from the 80s, the one Marty McFly punched numbers on before hitting 88 miles per hour. And here I am in 2025, snagging mine for about 28 bucks, a little pricier than the basic CA-53W, but with just enough upgrades to spark curiosity. So what makes this model special? It's a cocktail of retro tech nostalgia and everyday practicality. You've got the sleek negative LCD, an eco-friendly bio-resin strap, and a feather-light body that weighs just 25 grams. So light, it practically floats on your wrist. Add in a full tool belt of features, calculator, dual time, stopwatch, alarm, and an auto calendar that'll outlast your smartphone. And suddenly, you realize this isn't just a gimmick. It's playful yet practical. On the street, it turns heads. At the Walmart checkout line, somebody will nudge and say, "Hey, is that the Breaking Bad watch?" On Amazon reviews, collectors nod approvingly because it's not just another Casio. It's a geek-chic aesthetic you don't see every day. But here's the kicker. For all its brains and charm, it does have one Achilles heel. There's no backlight. Yep, if you're calculating the tip in a dim diner at midnight, you'll be squinting like your grandpa reading the fine print on a bill. So the real question is, does that single drawback outweigh the nostalgia, the geeky charm, and the sheer cult status of this watch? Stick around, because the answer might just save you from spending more than you need to.
Unboxing.
Let's start where every great story begins, the unboxing. Now, this time was different. Normally, Casio ships their classics in that familiar blue and white box that looks like it's been in circulation since the Reagan era. But this one? It showed up in a black box, sleek, old, and mysterious. First time I've seen this packaging, and it almost feels like Casio wants us to know. This isn't just another calculator watch. Though, to be fair, the box did take a couple of dents along the journey. Shipping's not always kind. Luckily, the watch inside came out flawless, proving once again that Casio builds their gear tougher than the cardboard it comes in. All right, let's crack it open. First, the paperwork. A thick watch manual stamped with module number 437. Let's be real, nobody reads this like a novel. It's the IKEA furniture guide of the watch world. You'll press buttons until it works. Then we've got the warranty card, short, sweet, and basically saying, keep it dry and don't run it over with your car. Now, the main event. Let's take the watch out of the box. It comes wrapped in a little plastic cocoon, tucked in like leftovers after Thanksgiving. Slice it open and bam. What a beauty. I picked this one for its beige case with a black retainer and buckle. That contrast gives it a retro scientist vibe, almost like something NASA's accountants might have worn in the 1980s. Hanging off the strap is the green Casio hang tag, tied neatly with a little string. No peeling here, you've got to untie it like opening up a small gift. And that green isn't just for show. It's highlighting that Casio used bio-based resin for the band. Eco-friendly, sustainable, and yeah, you can brag about saving the planet while calculating the tip at Applebee's. The case and bezel? Maybe not quite as green, but the effort's there. Flip it over, and there it is stamped in bold. The full model number CA-53WB-8BDF. A code that unlocks nostalgia, retro tech cool, and let's face it, endless conversations when someone spots it and says, wait, isn't that the Breaking Bad watch? This is where the journey begins. A budget-friendly calculator watch you can snag for under 30 bucks. But the story it tells? That's priceless.
Case size and wearability.
Now let's talk about the case, because the numbers here tell a story. We're looking at a case diameter of 34.4 millimeters, which on paper sounds modest, almost conservative. But once it's on the wrist, it feels just right. Not oversized like today's chunky smartwatches, but not toy-sized either. Then you've got a lug-to-lug distance of 43.2 millimeters, which stretches it out just enough to give the watch presence without eating up your whole wrist. The thickness? Only 8.2 millimeters. That's thinner than most smartphones, and it slides under a shirt cuff smoother than butter on a hot biscuit. Now here's the surprise. The lug width is 20 millimeters. And for a Casio digital watch, that's unusual. It means you're not locked into just the stock strap. You've got a whole universe of aftermarket choices on Amazon and Walmart. NATO straps, leather, silicone, even stainless steel if you want to dress it up for date night. It's like Casio left the door open for you to make this calculator watch truly your own. And the weight? Just 25 grams. Super lightweight, so light. In fact, you might forget you're wearing it. Until, of course, someone spots it and says, "Hey, is that the Back to the Future watch?" And then suddenly, it feels like the coolest 25 grams on the planet. This isn't just a case. It's a canvas for nostalgia, practicality, and personalization. Now let's see how this retro marvel actually wears on the wrist. The lug-to-lug distance is 43.2 millimeters. And on paper, that might sound a little long for smaller wrists. But here's the truth. Specs don't always tell the whole story. On my 6.5-inch wrist, it doesn't look oversized at all. In fact, it balances out perfectly, almost like Casio designed it to trick the eye. And here's my philosophy. Size doesn't matter, at least not when it comes to watches. If you love it, just buy it and wear it. Forget the wrist police. Forget the forums. If a $28 calculator watch makes you smile every time you glance down at it, then it's worth every penny. On the wrist, the CA-53 feels feather-light, almost like it's not even there, until someone notices it, and suddenly you're in the middle of a conversation about retro tech, Breaking Bad, or Back to the Future. It's not just comfortable, it's a little conversation starter strapped to your arm.
Design and build details.
Let's take a closer look at the details, because with this watch, every little piece tells a story. Starting with the crystal. It covers just a small part of the watch face, sitting flat and exposed. No recessed protection here, which means scratches are definitely a possibility if you're not careful. It's the price you pay for that clean, flat look, a trade-off between style and durability. Framing the display, you've got a black panel with a gray top section. On the left is the proud Casio imprint. Right in the middle sits Alarm Chrono, and on the far right, the simple WR for water resistance. Nothing flashy, just classic Casio design language. Now, down to the real star of this show, the calculator keypad. This is where the geek-chic aesthetic kicks in. The layout is in a familiar 4x4 pocket calculator grid, instantly transporting you back to the golden age of retro tech. On the top right, there's a distinctive red Mode C clear key, easy to spot and tied to the top right button function. Press it, and you're either clearing your math or switching modes. Simple, practical, playful. The buttons themselves? They're not just for math homework. Many carry dual functions, setting the time, starting or stopping the stopwatch, toggling alarms, or switching between time zones. And Casio made sure the calculator operators, plus, minus, multiply, divide, are clearly marked, so even in a quick glance, you know where you're going. It's equal parts nostalgic gadget and functional tool, a perfect blend of playful yet practical design. The kind of thing that makes you grin when you use it, because let's be real, who else is pulling off long division on their wristwatch in 2025? The case of the CA-53 is rectangular with softly curved edges, that classic digital silhouette that screams vintage Casio. The finish is a matte beige resin, lightweight yet sturdy, with the bezel and case molded as a single unibody design, less fuss, more durability. Along the sides, you'll notice 4 small rectangular cutouts, almost like vents. They don't functionally do much, but they break up the surface and add character to the design. On the right side, you'll find 2 pushers. The top button sticks out proudly. That's your mode clear button, tied directly to the red calculator key on the dial. Below it, the bottom button is recessed and protected. That's the adjust button, tucked in so you don't accidentally reset your time in the middle of a busy day. Over on the left side, things are kept clean and minimalist, no buttons at all. The strap continues the beige theme, soft and flexible, but with a sense of durability that suggests it'll last well beyond its $28 price tag. The black strap retainer creates a sharp contrast, adding a little pop of style. The hard plastic buckle is stamped with the Casio logo, and if you flip it over, you'll see the China imprint. On the underside of the strap, Casio left some identification numbers, because even this playful retro watch likes to stay organized. Turn it around, and you're greeted with the stainless steel case back, etched with all the essentials: Casio logo, module and model number, stainless steel back, and water resistance rating. Nothing fancy, but all business. It's a design that balances retro tech nostalgia, geek-chic aesthetic, and everyday practicality. Lightweight, durable, and instantly recognizable. It's Casio doing what Casio does best.
The dial.
This is the problem with buying a negative display. I literally warned myself not to do it. I even had a little heart-to-heart saying, "Hey, future me, don't fall for the dark screen with neon digits." And yet, here we are. I bought it anyway. The digits glow in green against a black background, the classic negative display look. The digital LCD shows time, date, and day of the week, here in the 12-hour format with a PM indicator. There's also the alarm icon chilling on top. Now, in theory, that sounds cool. In practice, unless you're standing under the noon sun or blasting it with a flashlight, those green digits play hide and seek with your eyes. Half the time, I feel like I'm trying to read secret spy codes instead of just checking the time.
Features.
All right, folks, let's pop the hood on this retro tech marvel and see what's inside the Casio CA-53WB. First up, power. This little brainiac runs on a CR2016 battery that'll keep ticking for about 5 years. That's longer than most smartphones survive in the wild. Next, the dual time feature. 2 time zones at once. Perfect if you've got business in New York and family in California, or if you just like pretending you're jet-lagged. The stopwatch is razor sharp at 1/100th of a second, with a max limit of just under 24 hours. You can track elapsed time, split times, or even crown the winner between your left and right running shoes. Moving on to alarms and chimes, a daily alarm to get you out of bed, and an hourly signal to remind you that, yes, time really is flying. The auto calendar is fully loaded all the way to the year 2099. So unless you're planning to outlive Marty McFly's hoverboard, you're covered. Don't like beeps? There's a mute function. Turn those button tones off and sneak around like a wristwatch ninja. As for accuracy, this guy only drifts about 15 seconds a month. That's more reliable than half the Wi-Fi clocks in America. And of course, the star of the show, the 8-digit calculator. A mini computer strapped to your wrist. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide, or just impress strangers in the Walmart checkout line. Time format. Take your pick, 12-hour or 24-hour. Whether you're team AM/PM or full-on military time, this Casio's got your back. And finally, the basics. Hours, minutes, seconds, the full date, day of the week, all neatly packed into a case, so light you might forget it's even there. So yeah, not bad for a $28 piece of retro nostalgia that doubles as a geek-chic conversation starter.
Alarm sound test.
Now let's talk alarms. The sound on the Casio CA-53WB-8BDF isn't just a polite little beep beep that gets drowned out by your microwave timer. Nope, this one is surprisingly audible, sharp, and carries a rhythm that stands out from the usual budget Casios. It's almost like Casio wanted to make sure you'd never sleep through math class in the 80s. Here's where this watch really excels. The alarm tone has that retro tech flavor, clear enough to grab your attention in a noisy room, yet not so shrill that your coworkers file a noise complaint. Think of it as a perfect balance. A little geek, a little chic, and plenty practical. So whether you're setting it for an early Amazon delivery, a Walmart grocery run, or just to remind yourself to step away from the screen, the CA-53WB proves it's not just a nostalgic timepiece. It's still a dependable daily driver in 2025.
Water resistance test.
This Casio CA-53W comes with a modest 30 meters of water resistance. Now, I don't have a scuba tank or a Hawaiian vacation handy, so we're going to test it the frugal way, straight from the kitchen sink. First, a gentle shower under tap water, then a full dunk under the faucet, like it's taking a spa day. And the result? No problem. Passed the test. The calculator still crunches numbers, the digits still glow on that negative display, and the alarm still yells at me right on time. Now, let's be honest, this isn't your deep-sea diver's companion. But for daily life, washing your hands, a surprise rainstorm, or even that oops moment when your kid drops it in the dog bowl, this little retro tech champ holds its ground. It's playful, practical, and frugal friendly. Just don't go cliff diving with it.
Final verdict.
At the end of the day, the Casio CA-53WB-8BDF isn't just a watch. It's a little slice of retro tech nostalgia strapped to your wrist. For around $28, you're getting more than just timekeeping. You're getting a calculator that sparks geek-chic conversations, a featherlight build that disappears on the wrist, and that playful yet practical vibe that Casio has been nailing since the 80s. Yes, it has quirks. The crystal can scratch, and the no backlight drawback means you'll be crunching numbers blind if the lights go out. But honestly, that's part of its charm. It's a reminder that sometimes simpler tech gauges better than the latest smartwatch begging for a software update. This is the kind of watch that turns heads at Walmart checkout lines, gets nods of respect from Amazon reviewers, and maybe even earns you a smile from someone who still remembers Marty McFly. It's affordable, it's iconic, and it carries a quiet cult status that no marketing campaign can buy. So if you're looking for a watch that blends nostalgia, practicality, and a touch of humor every time you check your wrist, this Casio is a frugal, fun, and timeless pick.
And that's the Casio CA-53WB-8BDF, a watch that proves you don't need to spend a fortune to wear a legend on your wrist. It's retro, it's practical, it's geek-chic in all the right ways. If this little time machine caught your eye, you can snag one yourself through my Amazon links below. Same watch, same price, but by clicking through, you'll be feeling more frugal finds and retro tech stories right here on the channel. Think of it as buying me a coffee, except instead of caffeine, I'll probably spend it on another quirky Casio. Until next time, keep your wrists ticking, your alarms ringing. And remember, sometimes the simplest tech outlasts the smartest gadgets.